Welcome to Casual Swinger. If you're under 18, the following podcast is not appropriate for you. The subjects and language are for mature audiences only. If you're not mature in nature, just make sure you're old enough to vote. We don't take ourselves seriously, ever. No guarantee is given regarding the accuracy of any opinions or statements made on this podcast, our website, or our blog. It's all in fun, folks. This isn't Dr. Phil. Now, consider yourself, the listener, properly advised.
Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to Casual Swinger. My name's Mickey.
And I'm Mallory.
We are recording in a special place today, which is a different room of the house.
It is. We're in
The fornicatorium?
the media room.
Okay, it's a fucking media room, let's be honest. But anyway, we've got a special guest with us today. We got a young lady by the name of Stacey. She's an esthetician. Say hi.
Hi.
Hey, Stacey, thank you so much for joining us. This is just amazing. I think you were my first friend. I don't know if you know this when I moved here, because it was gynecologist, esthetician. Let's do this.
Yes, I can definitely relate to that because when I opened my business here, I didn't know anyone. So actually all of the friends that I have here are people that I've met through Lake Mary Waxing.
Love it.
Love
it. Well, we appreciate your company.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, no, thank you very much. You know, grooming in the lifestyle is a big deal. Nobody wants to go down on an Ewok, right? So it's
some people do.
Some people might, but there's different levels of grooming, different types of grooming, and being an esthetician, we thought you'd be the perfect person to bring on and talk about all the facets of taking care of your skin,
what
grooming and waxing.
Clean your junk.
Okay.
And,
It's not just junk per
right?
se. There's just
it's
other body
armpits
parts.
and legs.
Yeah.
But really, all I care about is junk. And so we brought Stacey in today to talk about this. We also have another special guest who's sitting behind me. She's very quiet and out of the way. Sheila, how are you, honey?
Holler.
She said she's awake, so she's here. We're going to get waxed today
All of us.
live
I know.
on Casual Swinger. I am very fucking concerned right now.
We all look like Chewbacca below the belt right now.
Oh, I seriously have a full-on 70s root going
It
on.
may have been blowing on them, just to watch the hair
Before I got in the
shake.
shower, it was
Yeah.
really cool. I felt the breeze. Just blowing in my
I've
pubes.
never seen you grown out before.
The answer, my dear, is blowing in my pubes. No? All right, so let's get
Moving
to
on.
talking to Stacey.
Yeah.
Let's talk about grooming.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about you first. Tell us about your business, who you are, and what you do.
So I opened Lake Mary Waxing 2 years ago, a little over 2 years ago. When I moved here from Los Angeles, and I moved here because I was having a baby with my husband, and we wanted to be closer to family. So I said, well, I'm definitely going to give it a shot because this is what I do. This is what I love to do, and I want to make it happen here. So I had that in my head, and I knew it was what I wanted to do. I love skincare and removing hair, and there's a bigger side of it to me, helping people, meeting people, connecting with them. That's probably what I'm most passionate about it. I think everything else just comes easy for me as far as my talent with it. When you're good at something, you're good at it.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it's a little bit, I think, more than that. I get a lot out of what I do. So I wanted to keep it going here. And I opened the business, and I started with 0 clients, and I think I would have, 1 or 2 a month, and then now I see about 80 to 100 people a month.
Woo.
So it's been really good.
That is a lot of nether regions.
That is a lot of
It
wax.
is. And, probably 85% of my business is bikini waxes.
Really?
Yeah, I
Okay.
do have a small amount of people that will just do eyebrows or underarms or, something on their face. But most people are getting Brazilians, mostly, yes,
Right here,
with
raising
you.
my hand.
And then whatever else they want to. But it's probably about 85% of my business.
So we party at Hito 4 times a year, and you see more naked people than we do.
Yeah.
That's pretty
Yeah.
impressive.
Legit.
I see a lot of people naked.
Yeah. So I think I can paraphrase you in a really short sentences. You're a sadist. Because
No.
your passion is tearing people's hair off their nether regions.
I don't know that she expressed like I get off on like people like
She's
in
passionate
pain.
about watching people go,
Well, if you look at my reviews, a lot of people will say it's the most painless wax I've ever had. It didn't hurt. She's very gentle.
It is.
So
It is. You do a great job, I will say. And I am a wuss. Like I am not the person you want to bear your pain because I will crack, I will crumble, and
you're always
like,
fine.
But I will say it's the best experience I've ever had, and that comes with having that passion, compassion, and being good at what you do, and making us feel at ease.
I swear I don't want to hurt you or anyone.
Yeah.
no.
But you also make us leave there feeling confident about ourselves too, and that doesn't matter if it's my nose hair or eyebrows or my Brazilian wax. Like you feel better when you leave because you feel coiffed, you feel clean, you feel.
Yeah,
Wow,
definitely.
Coiffed. You just busted out coiffed on this show. All right, everybody, get out
And
your
I hit it.
dictionary. Mallory used a college word. College words, everybody, on Casual Swinger.
Oh, it almost sounded condescending.
Oh, but it was.
All right, I got a college word for you.
So I don't think anybody wants to like cop to like thinking it hurts because you're like all in shape and shit
Yeah.
and got that whole like I think they're like I'm tough, I can handle it.
I never lie to people and say that it's not going to hurt. You are getting hair pulled from your body. So
From the root,
it would be
ideally.
That's how I approach anal. Not gonna lie to you, this is gonna hurt one of us.
it
More
would
than me.
not be realistic for me to tell you that, but I will say that 100% of the time with new clients, people come in and they say it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Well, that's
So,
good.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got a lot of questions for you, but I'm curious, somebody that's thinking about coming in and getting this sort of thing done, what sort of person makes the leap from shaving to waxing, and what are the primary benefits of it?
Well, and then this is another thing I love about what I do is waxing isn't confined to like one type of person. You could have somebody that's, a nudist, so they prefer to have no hair. They could be a stripper. You could have a virgin who has skin issues with the
I'm a virgin.
razor. Yeah.
No.
Or, I get married women, older women, very modest women, but they just don't like the razor and they
Yeah.
just want to get cleaned up.
It's a lot of upkeep. I mean,
Yeah.
when you think about it, I have super sensitive skin. So one of the leaps that I made, I was researching ways to get rid of the bumps, the
Mhm.
irritation, and the constant need. I mean, I was a mom, I was working full time. Like, I don't want to shave every other day, but I wanted to feel sexy, especially
Yeah.
when it comes to there. So in my research, it told me that this might be an option for that. I mean, do you feel that's true? Does it reduce the level of irritation and maybe some of those bumps that we don't like to talk about?
As long as you're doing proper at-home care, yes.
Okay.
But not if you're just coming in, whenever you feel like it, and then you're going home and putting crappy products on your skin. Because when you wax, your pores are open.
Yes.
So
Like,
anything that
ooh,
you put on your skin is going right in. And when you wax, your hair actually starts to thin out.
Mhm.
So if you're
I've
getting,
noticed that.
yeah, it thins out. It's much finer. There's less of it. So if you're waxing and now you've got these open pores and you're clogging them with parabens and sulfates, or you're not exfoliating and you sweat a lot, or you've got dry skin, what's going to happen is your pores are going to get clogged, and these nice, fine little hairs are just simply not strong enough to penetrate through whatever's going on in there. So without the proper home care, like, you're going to have a bad time, basically. You're going to have bumps and breakouts and things that you don't want. But if you do everything that you're supposed to, you can avoid all that and have great skin.
So you just mentioned a couple of things like paraffins and sulfates, and that's all Greek to me, college words again. But so you said good products and crappy products. What is a good product versus a crappy product? What are some of its characteristics, and what are some that you would recommend for before care, after care, that sort of thing?
And this is strictly when it comes to waxing. All natural products are going to be a go. Natural products don't have parabens and sulfates, the things that make all those nice bubbles that make you feel really clean. Those are not cleaning you.
What about fragrances?
Fragrances,
Yeah.
yep. But, you can get really nice smelling things from natural oils like tea tree or pine oil.
Yeah.
there's a brand out there that's relatively inexpensive called Jason's. It's not what I carry because it's not what I use, but I do recommend it for people who are looking for something a little bit more budget friendly.
I've used it.
Yeah, Jason's
Good
is
stuff.
great. You could get it at TJ Maxx. The brand I use is from California. It's called 2L, and it is a little expensive, but it's worth every penny. In fact, the body wash has a touch of glycol in it, so you're getting an exfoliant just through that. You want to avoid, I tell my clients to avoid things like sugar scrubs and salt scrubs, particularly for the bikini area. Legs, arms, okay, but the sugar and the salt are just a little bit too abrasive, in my opinion, for the bikini area. I recommend, I recommend pumice. And even a lot of say if you were like, well, I have this Dove body wash and it has its exfoliants and it smells really good. Stuff like that is not good because typically what those exfoliants are, those little beads, are plastic. Right. So if you have open pores, it's different than if you're just, rubbing that on skin that you've shaved. It doesn't matter because there's still hair in the pore. But if you have an open pore and you're putting plastic in it, I mean, that's terrible for your skin.
Yeah, and it's kind of, I don't want to say tantamount, but it's like, would you drink it?
Right.
Like, am I going to die if I put this in my mouth?
Yes.
Or is it gonna be really, really gross? Yeah.
Is any of that stuff that you just said, is it different for people who shave instead of getting waxed? Because right now we are talking to somebody, you're an esthetician,
That's
but
true.
you're skincare in addition to waxing. So is it different if you shave versus wax?
In a way, in different ways, yes. Because, for example, if you're shaving, you're only removing what's on the surface of the skin. So the pore that's beneath the skin still has that hair in it. The razor is very drying. So if you're using something that has a lot of, you're taking away live skin, not just dead skin. Yeah. So if you are then putting on something that's like really has a lot of fragrance to it, that's drying in itself. So you could
usually suspended in alcohol, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you're going to have irritation, but for different reasons. So I don't really ever recommend anything that's not all natural for your skin. It's kind of bad any which way you look at it.
Got it. So let's pretend that I'm brand new. I've never waxed before and I come to you. Is there anything that you should know about me or I should know about myself as an esthetician before I go get waxed, regardless of the area I'm looking
Definitely.
at?
I have everybody sign a waiver if you're on any kind of like retinoids or blood thinners. If you're taking, you're doing skin thinning treatment facials, there is a time frame that you have to wait to get waxed. And people know that, which is why I have them sign a waiver, because people are like, well, I've got a date tonight and I want my eyebrows done. So if your skin peels off when I'm waxing you, I told you, and you can't sue me.
Quasimodo.
Don't sue me. But what about like allergies or like skin type, tone, type of hair? Like, is there anything we should know? Let's talk about like maybe just down there, like over shaving. Like, should I be, what kind of full transparency do you need from me to give me the right feedback in order to have the best experience?
The right feedback for me is just going to be, in regards to what I'm doing to your skin. So in other words, I'm putting all natural products on your skin. I do need to know of allergies. Are you allergic to tea tree? Are you allergic to arnica? Are you allergic to aloe? So most people know these things. Some people don't. And even if you don't, the reason why it's okay is because it's natural. So I tell all of my new clients, worst case scenario, you may have a histamine reaction. You may have not have known that you were allergic to lavender, and you are. So in which case, throw some aloe on whatever area, take a Benadryl, and you'll be fine. And that's what I like about using all natural products, is it's very safe for me as a business owner.
Right on.
So obviously you said that 85% of your customers are bikini wax. Chances are you're not talking about dudes. What do guys get done? I know you don't characteristically handle men, but in your industry, what do guys get waxed?
I have a lot of male clients that get their eyebrows, chest, back. Back is big here. Mostly eyebrows, I would say, and I do have a lot of calls about the manzillion.
Tell me what that is,
Wait.
please. Yeah,
I have never heard that
No?
before. No, a manzillion.
The manzillion, you have the Brazilian, and then you have the manzillion. So it's
So guys
pretty
are getting
much
their butthole waxed.
Yeah, and actually, I will do butt strips for men. That's fine, but I just do not have the time to weed through the perverts.
Okay.
So I'm not gonna. Unfortunately, it's just
Fuck,
not
we
a service that I
qualify.
offer.
I mean,
I mean the serious perverts
Okay.
that
like
are
the
like
ones that you do not want to be in a closed room with.
exactly.
See, we're funny,
Oh yeah.
so
It's just not
We're not
a road that I want to go down. And people make a lot of money doing it. I mean,
Yeah.
you could charge $100 for a manzillion, and it could take you 15 minutes.
Wow.
Wow.
But it's just
the
a
wrong
lot
business.
of it's
Mallory.
just a lot of people looking for the wrong
I'll
thing.
wax your butthole.
Do you know why pervert crossed the road?
No,
Because his dick was stuck in the chicken.
okay, get out of here.
Just
You're
saying.
so not. You're grounded. You're fired.
So anyway, yeah. That's
So,
sorry.
do you hear
Bum,
about
bum.
that a lot in the industry though? Like the gentlemen that cannot behave themselves?
Yeah.
Or
I'm part
Wow.
of a lot of different like blogs and groups on Facebook and things just to, be in the loop.
mm-hmm.
And you do hear about, I mean, you'll be, turning around, stirring your wax pot, and somebody's ejaculated. Like, and it's just, I never want to be in that situation.
Wow.
I can't say that I blame you. I mean, there's also safety to consider, but like, and talk about like comedic comebacks for that.
And
one.
it is
Right?
my decision. I am
Yeah.
married, and my husband straight up was like, look, if that's what you want to do, because he didn't know at first. He's like, wait, do you do men? And I'm like, no. And he's like, well, if you do, I don't want to know. I don't care. And I'm like, well, I don't. So
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to reconcile on my end as a guy. Like first of all, to go from quick, she turned around, let me pound one out real quick, right? To she's getting ready to rip hair off my asshole. I am not gonna come anytime
Hey,
soon.
everyone has their own brand of like
Yeah.
freaky, and
That's
that's,
why- yeah.
fine. But it's always with consent, and that doesn't sound very consensual to me. That sounds
I think
really
the
creepy.
turn on of it is that the person doesn't know that you're doing it, and the man finds that to be, like he gets off on that. Like he likes that you don't know what's going on.
Well,
That's
I will
what I've
say,
taken from the
clearly most of
stories.
our listeners are not okay with that in the lifestyle
Yeah,
recently. And
usually.
well, let's put this out there. I think we said this earlier, but Stacey, you're obviously not in the lifestyle.
No, you just tolerate us.
You just
which
tolerate
we
us, which is
appreciate.
awesome. But consent is a big conversation. It has
Yes.
been for the better part of the last year. There's been a lot of conversation about consent and what's okay and what's not okay, and talking to somebody before. I mean, and we're a very touchy-feely, lovey group of people anyway. But to hug, kiss, put your arm around somebody, and even that has started to become a concern in lifestyle circles. So I can only imagine in your circles what people, are the consent conversation that you have to have. I'm going to touch you. I'm going to put this on you. You understand that, right? I mean, that has to be a huge conversation for you, right?
Especially with new clients.
To make sure they know what they're getting into.
I think people know what they're getting into when they come in. And my job is to take control of that so that they don't have to feel like they have to do anything. I want them to be comfortable with me. The first time I had ever gotten a Brazilian wax was in Texas with my sister, and I was visiting her, and she was like, you have to do this. So I'm like, okay, I'm all excited about it. And most people that do this are excited for their first time. We came in, and it was this beautiful spa, and the girl that was doing mine, we were getting pedicures first. And you could just tell that she did not want to be there. So I had to sit through like a 45-minute pedicure with her and then be kind of in like this vulnerable position.
It is very vulnerable. I mean, when you
I
think
was
about
very
it.
uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like she was not nice to me, and I still did it, but like I didn't feel good, and that has always stuck with me, and I never want anybody to feel like that.
I think
So-
that's why I appreciate you, because my first experience was horrifying. Like, they didn't speak much English. It was basically like a cattle call. Like, it was a spa, but then
Yeah.
like, the waxing center, like, they took no appointment. She was in when she was in. And, like, you stood there in line, and, like, there were strips, and I should have walked out. I just
Yeah.
didn't know any better. But, like, strips of somebody else's hair, like, stuck to the floor.
Ew.
I know. Hello. Common sense should have clicked but I was feeling
You're like,
so
"I need this
brave. Like
done."
I finally decided to do it, that I was going for it.
And most people that come in have been researching it and thinking about it for like months.
Yeah.
So it's a big deal for them.
It
And
is.
I get that. Like, you are coming in and this is like what's going on in your life right now. Like, this is a big deal.
And this is your fourth beaver this morning that you're.
Yeah.
So it's just like whatever to you.
And I'm like, I tell people, I'm like, this is not the place to be shy. Like, this is my
it's not.
job.
I mean, she's literally ripping like hair off my lip, and we're talking about family and what we're doing this weekend, and like we talk about the show, which is so funny.
So we talked about what makes a good place to go, and what makes products good, and what makes a good esthetician. It sounds to me like confidence makes a good esthetician. That because your natural confidence, you exude it, so it makes the people around you feel better, right?
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoy making people feel better, good, whatever. Even if somebody confident walks in the door, anybody that comes in, I want them to feel better than they did before they came in. And you do have like my techniques that I use, I've developed over the past 8 or 9 years. So my technique is there. But yeah, people, I feel like sometimes there was a salon that had opened across the street, or I opened my salon with a European wax center 2 miles away. Like, that just didn't concern me, because my clients, I feel like, come to me because of me. And I just so happen to, be skilled at what I do. Mm-hmm. So I do think that it's, that makes sense that you would pick up on that.
Well, say for folks that aren't local to the Lake Mary area here and can't come see you, although they may want to desperately after this interview, what things should they look for? If they're going to a new esthetician, they're looking for their first esthetician, what advice could you give them?
The advice that I would give, because there's a lot of, I would say, outdated information on the internet. Like, people are like, oh, we don't double dip our sticks. Well, nobody does. Like, nobody does that anymore. They might have like 10 years ago in a salon, but I think more of the things that you would want to look out for, and it's very easy to keep a clean space. Like, if you walk in and you see that it's filthy, like, I mean, obviously you would leave. But I think more of the things to look out for would be if somebody's rushing you, or if you feel like they're not explaining why they use the products that they use.
You should probably ask them, like, what kind of products you use, unless they give it to you. Because, I mean, I know there's softer waxes and harder waxes, but I don't know anything about them and what that means.
I mean, if somebody's not upfront talking to you about those kind of things, that would be a red flag for me.
Okay.
If they're just like, yeah, come on in, strip down. Part of the reason why I do the consultation is to not only get information on things like allergies and whatnot, but it's also to kind of open up the door to conversation and to make them feel comfortable with what I'm doing. So I would definitely, it would be a red flag for me if I went somewhere and didn't feel like I was being treated as an individual.
Yeah. What about licensing? Should we check for that?
I don't even have my license hung up in my room.
Yeah.
Really?
I have it. But
is that
hey,
like
I mean, you could meet the best waxer in the world and she may not even be licensed.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
That's fair.
But yeah, definitely if you feel like somebody's rushing you, or if you're getting waxed and you feel like giant strips of wax on you, like, that's not normal.
Giant strips? Really?
Yeah.
Like, how giant? Like the length of my arm? Or
I've heard of people will do like one strip right across the top, or like one from the top of the thigh to the inner lower leg. Those are all kind of, for me, if you're not removing the hair properly, meaning from the root, you are breaking it, probably at the root. So yes, you leave with skin that has no hair on it, but the hair is going to grow back as if you shaved, because a waxed hair, the new hair that grows in is a brand new hair, so it's different. It's tapered at the tip. A shaved hair is blunt, and when you don't pull the hair from the root, it doesn't shrink the follicle at all, which is the purpose of waxing, because you want the hair to thin out and then eventually stop growing. So if you're just constantly breaking it at the root, you're not getting the benefits of waxing. So when you have huge strips like that, it's just not the proper way to remove the hair from the root.
All right, so we've got you here today to do some waxing live on Casual Swinger, which I am very fucking nervous about. But before we get to that,
I'm excited.
Here on the show, we do try to have some fun. So I'm going to ask you a question about the most awkward or weird or funniest shit that's ever happened on a waxing table. You don't use names, obviously.
Yeah.
We got to hear for our listeners, what's the worst that can happen? So let's hear it.
You know, there's a lot of different people that you meet. I've met men with, they would come in for a leg wax and they've got on a hot pink thong and belly button rings and hair extensions. I've seen it.
Nice.
I've had a woman, she must have been from I think she was from like the Philippines. And she came in with what I believe to be, the guy that mail ordered her.
Uh-huh.
And she just was very sweet. She was all of maybe like 70 pounds. And she came in and she was so scared. And I'm like, why are you here? What are we doing today? And she's like, well, my husband, she didn't speak much English. And I'm like, okay. She's like, and she told me she had her period. I said, okay, well, you just need to be using a tampon. No big deal. And she's like, well, I just have a pad. And I said, well, you need a tampon in order for me to wax you. And I forget what happened, if I gave her one or if she got one from somebody, but she comes back from the bathroom and she's up on the table, and I always have people butterfly their legs. Yeah. So here she is.
What does that look like? Because I'm a dude.
So like you're touching the bottoms of your feet together.
Got
so
it.
It's like the butterfly frog position.
Got it.
So here she is, this
You're welcome.
tiny woman, and her legs are out, and she's got a tampon hanging out like 2 inches.
Oh,
like,
bless her heart.
I know. So I did it because I felt so bad. Like I just.
Wait, you waxed her or you put the tampon in?
No.
Okay.
I waxed her.
Just asking. I have no idea.
God, even I didn't.
But I did feel, I was uncomfortable, but I didn't have the heart to tell her, like,
So you
Just like, I'm not going to make your day any harder.
Yeah, it was all the way out pretty much, maybe like except for, a half an inch. There it was. And I was just like, really?
What's this supposed to do?
This is what we're doing, folks. Yeah.
Sometimes
Good on you
for
not making her day harder, though.
Bite your tongue. Right? Dive in.
I'm like, I'm just going to do this for her.
Well, we could sit here and talk to you all day. I know I have a lot of questions because I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. That's okay. We're going to watch your time because we know you got to get out of here and get back to your regularly scheduled life. But before we do that, you were going to wax Mallory and Sheila here today. So we're going to rearrange these mics a little bit, and you're going to talk us through what it means to wax these beautiful ladies. And I'm going to sit over here and not do any
Anticipate.
No ejaculating.
No ejaculating.
Turn around, ladies. Here it comes. All right. We're going to get this set up, but it's going to take us just a couple of minutes, and we're going to be right back after this. Mallory, you want to remind everybody where to find us?
Sure. You guys can find us at Casual Swinger everywhere. That is www.casualswinger.com. You can send us a message, podcast@Casual Swinger. We love your feedback, your messages, your questions. Please leave us a review on iTunes if you get a moment. And if you want to find us on social media, that is SDCSLS Cassidy, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube.
And YouTube.
Oh, Double Date Nation. Yes.
So many damn places. Hey, everybody. Yes. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for hanging out. We'll be right back. You've been listening to Casual Swinger. All right, we're back. Ooh. So everybody that's listening at home, Stacey just said that Mallory's vag will get a little sticky.
Yes. Yeah, apparently there's humidity.
It's a humid place.
Yes. You looked a little concerned there.
Well, ow. I'm more concerned for my own welfare. I really don't care what happens to you.
There is a trick to getting your nether regions waxed, in my humble opinion. Like, if you can have conversation and kind of like busy yourself and like taking a deep breath and like inhaling, exhaling while the strip is being pulled off, definitely helps me personally.
I got it. So this is I get what you were talking about when we were doing the intro here. We kind of talked about vulnerability and how some people kind of feel like this is an incredibly vulnerable place to be.
Yeah. Aside from you and my gynecologist, like this is the second most vulnerable position I'm usually in.
I kind of feel like Stacey might know you better than your gyno. She sees you a lot more often.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, what do you see at the gyno, like once a year?
Have you ever had to look at a customer and go, you may want to do something about that yeast problem?
Let's talk about etiquette and like pre-grooming before you go to get waxed.
You're baking bread down there, lady.
Yeah.
You know, the thing about that is people kind of have this misconception that somebody is going to come in dirty or with a yeast infection or whatever, but most people that come to wax do so because they care about this area.
So they're already
So they're not going to come in like leaking
unkempt.
Unkempt.
Ew.
Leaking.
So if you've got something dripping from your gunya that's the same color as this wax, it's like fluorescent green, by the way.
And fortunately for me, I've never had that problem where I've had to tell somebody, you know, that I'm not able to wax them because they should maybe see a doctor.
I'm going to need you to go see a physician.
Let's talk about pustules, can we?
Ew, pustules? Yeah. First coiffed and now pustules?
Yeah.
Are you trying to make every listener turn off their radio right now?
Sorry.
But no, I've never had anybody that, I mean, I've definitely, like, I've been doing this for 8 or 9 years. So I've definitely had some people that, you know, weren't the best kept. But those aren't the people that come back.
What are you owing for? That's my goodies.
Yeah, your goodies are out there for the world
to
see.
The one on the side did hurt, though. Like, I'm not going to lie. It doesn't feel great.
It's like taking your lip and pulling it over your head.
But it's been way worse. So, like, this is a walk in a park compared to other experiences I've had.
Like your first one?
Yeah.
Fuck you, I'm leaving.
No.
Yeah, right. Most people I see are pretty. Now, I also work in a gray area. I've worked in some not so gray areas that, you know, sometimes I would see somebody and I would just pray that they never come back.
Please don't ever give me your money again.
Yeah. But those people don't care about their skin. So they're just coming in because they have like a hot date or like, you know, Valentine's Day will sometimes bring people out of the woodwork in the wrong area.
So, I mean, basically, if you're going to go to the effort of getting wax done, you probably are doing it because somebody's going to see that space, right? If you're one of those people that never gets laid, do you really care if you've got a giant bush down there?
It depends on the person. It really does, because I have met people that are single, but they just have irritated skin and they've heard that this can help them. Or their friends do it and they, you know, pass along how much cleaner they feel, how much better it is. So you can get people that, you know, no one's seeing it.
Yeah, I had full-on Napoleon Dynamite, like, when I was in high school. It was pretty impressive. Like, you'd go to zip up and be like, ooh, got a hair.
Did you really?
What the fuck did I need to wait?
So
what did I need to shave it for?
I remember the first time, like, thinking to myself, because I had sex at a very young age, so young that, like, it's embarrassing to even talk about, like, way too young. But, like, thinking that, like, I couldn't see, like, what I wanted to down there, so I literally trimmed it with scissors.
Ouch.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I know people our age that trim it with scissors, and I'm like, look, if you can use scissors, it's been growing way too long.
Yeah.
Right.
But, like, I didn't know any better. Like, we didn't really have internet.
So... Frank just messaged over and said, what if you happen to like Giant Bush? Stop judging, Mickey.
I'm not judging him at all. More power to you, baby.
He does like Giant Bush.
Good for him. Good for him.
He does. He is a fur burger kind of guy.
Oh, this one's not going to feel awesome.
Oh! That didn't look good.
It's not that bad, though, right?
I'm going to pass out.
It's really not.
I may throw up in the floor.
To me, those two, the sides, like, that cross over, like, just on the edge where your lips meet, like, your legs to me, that is one of the more sensitive areas.
Well, now I know why your pussy looks like a prize fighter after every time you come back from seeing Stacey.
The ibuprofen
Adrian.
definitely helps, in my opinion. You take, a couple before and then a couple after. Obviously no more than the recommended dosages, but it definitely helps reduce some of the inflammation because I have very sensitive skin and it gets like puffy and red.
Yeah, and your pores will get upset at you.
Yes. Yeah,
Well,
and then
I can't
don't
imagine
do
why.
anything abrasive, like no exfoliating, nothing like that for at least the first 3 days.
Okay.
Yeah, let it calm down.
Well, it's really crazy. So, and if, for those of you that haven't been out and been waxed before, when she dips this tongue depressor into the wax, it's like cotton candy. She has to pull it up and twist it and wrap it around, and then it's this art form, hand wavy, what
It
is
is.
Wingardium Leviosa thing she does with the look at my geek cred. I've been to Universal, but yeah, she does a little magic wand wavy thing right over Mallory's poussoir, and then boom, off goes the hair.
Yeah, pretty much just like that.
We need to think of the spell that gets rid of pussy hair. What is it?
I think it's laser.
Laser.
Something laser.
Yeah, I think a couple of years ago, or a year or so ago, Kate and Daryl did a laser episode where they got lasered live on the air.
Yeah.
Something tells me that probably is different than this.
I've had laser.
Yeah. What was
Is it worth it?
your experience?
The thing with laser is you never know if it's going to work until you stop the treatments. So you could potentially spend a lot of money and then several months after you stop getting the treatments, because it's similar to waxing in the sense that you go every 5 or 6 weeks. But once you stop, the hair could very well come back. But while you're getting the treatments, it won't.
So isn't it true that laser works best on people with fair skin and dark hair?
Yes.
So if you're a ginger with light skin, you're screwed.
Yes, pretty much. Or if you're an African American with dark hair, you want a contrast between your hair and your skin. So if you're a Chinese person and you've got really fair skin and black hair, you're probably a great candidate for laser. Me, not that my skin is super dark or light, but it is more olive, so I don't have that contrast, which is why I don't think that it worked for me. Having a child, menopause, all of those things that affect you hormonally can cause the hair to grow back too. So it's just not, for me personally, it's not, I need more of a guarantee if I'm going to spend all that money.
Amen, sister.
It makes perfect sense. So I'd like to point out that Mallory has not made a sound laying on this table.
This
She's
is our
just
typical
This is
appointment
it.
here, except we're usually making fun of our family and
Yeah.
talking about kids and stuff.
laying here with her hoo-ha hanging
Yeah,
out,
pretty much.
getting alien blood smeared all over it.
Yeah.
So-
Actually, I think I was in this exact position where I told Stacey here, I was like, yeah, so my husband and I, we're doing a lifestyle podcast. And she was like, what?
Did
What
she
was
say,
that reaction
what's the
like for
lifestyle?
you?
Yeah, what was that? Tell us about that.
I was like, what channel is it? Where can I listen?
Did you know what she was talking about when she said lifestyle?
Yes, only because I knew of the Jamaica trips.
Yes. Yeah. 'Cause
But
we
I-
talked about Hito before.
Yeah, but I think I probably asked for you maybe to go more into detail. Well, what do you mean?
It's funny. My barbers do the same thing. They're like, tell us what happened. Tell us something cool. Tell us something funny.
I would imagine that it's kind of hot and cold with the type of people that you talk about it with. So I think that when we did talk about it, it was the perfect timing.
Yeah.
It was we were already halfway there.
Yeah.
All right. That makes perfect sense.
I warmed her up.
Oh, so you couldn't have introduced yourself and said, hey, would you like to join us on our podcast?
Hello, I'm Mallory. I'm a swinger. Can you wax my vagina? And let's talk about this podcast.
I mean, realistically, you probably knew I would be all for it.
You have that nature, though, where you're just generally accepting of other humans, especially when they're doing no harm.
Yeah.
That's just who you are in your demeanor, which makes you really good at what you do.
Well, thank you.
I think that you're being complimentary because you have, her hands and hot wax on your pussy.
Yeah. Right.
So
You ought to hear the shit she says when you
I
leave.
know where my bread is buttered.
I know where your
There.
pussy's buttered, too.
Woo! I wonder if the mics are picking out the.
I
like,
don't know if they're
action that's
picking it
going
up or
on.
not, but I really hope so because it's like rip. It looks.
Frank says he can hear it on my headphones, so.
Kenny?
Oh, Kenny.
Nice.
Oh, that's impressive.
No, before you ask Mickey, you cannot come to my next annual appointment with the gyno.
Oh, I would love to heckle your gyno.
Yeah. I can see you there with a speculum now.
I'm gonna bring a list of cheeses to ask him which one's his favorite.
Oh, no.
No?
No.
Is that a bad time to talk
You're
about cheese?
so gross.
This is a
Do
fucking.
you have a male gyno?
No, female.
I have a male,
Yeah.
and I've always had a male.
Yeah.
Like I just.
Well, they technically rotate, so I'd never see the same one every time.
Oh, okay.
So.
Well, I think mine delivered my daughter. So, but I moved here when I was 8 months pregnant.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
So that's a hell of a
scary.
time to meet somebody.
Yeah. And I knew I wanted a guy, and he was my first choice. And luckily, he accepted me because it was actually a lot of places wouldn't with me that far along.
Yeah.
But I adore my gyno.
Really?
Yeah.
So how did that conversation go? Did you say, how does it look down there? I haven't seen it in 6 months.
You know, it's funny because every time he's done, he's like, okay, now go ahead and get dressed. Come on, I don't want to see that. And I'm like,
Liar.
I'm sorry.
He's a damn liar. That's awesome. So
My-
he's a really good doc then.
He is a great doctor. He has purple hair.
No
What?
shit.
And he's probably, I would say maybe in his early 60s.
Nice.
Yeah, really great guy.
Do you mean like purple, or like violet colored
Like
gray hair?
purple.
Like Barney?
Yeah.
Is that
Nuffies.
supposed to distract you while he's down there with the instruments? Taking a peek?
Do
Possibly.
you ever just want to reach down and like
Yeah.
touch it?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
exactly what I would do.
Let's just
Like, run
let's
my
just hop in
fingers
here
through
and have a
it?
look under the hood.
You know,
Get it? Okay.
I actually really look
Sheila just
forward
rolled
to
her eyes
seeing him when
Good.
I go. Yeah, I
Really?
really like him.
Is it okay to make jokes when you're in that business? Can you be like, whoa,
No.
found your car keys?
Yeah. Found your car keys?
I mean, I feel like that would be a great time to make
I
a
would
joke.
appreciate it if
Yeah.
he did.
Or maybe an echo machine, like every time I said something while I was down there.
Oh my god. That would be funny.
No.
Do you remember our trip to
Sheila just
Jamaica
smacked me.
where I had the temporary tattoo of the mustache on my hoo-ha?
Oh, that was great.
And then I went to the gyno afterwards.
I forgot about that. You went to the
Like,
gynecologist with a tattoo of a
it was
mustache
like
on
the
your
most
pussy.
permanent temporary tattoo I've ever had in my life. Like, you could scrub and scrub and scrub, and that son of a biscuit would not come off. Like, the adhesive came off, but I was so afraid that it dyed my skin. And I'm going to the gyno, and it's starting to grow out, and she's like, so do you and your husband, like, have some playtime? Or, like, what's going on down here? Like, I feel like there's a really good story behind this.
Clearly she was interested.
Yeah. Well, it was really, I mean, it was huge. It went from, like, side to side. It wasn't
Well,
like a little.
It's
tear.
only
It
so
was
big. You
really
don't
big.
have a very large vag, Mel.
Well,
No.
it covered the majority of the width of it. So she was very interested in the story behind it.
Right. I've seen some pretty beefy cooters, and you are not on the list. But I'm just saying. So tell me, here's a fun
your
one
turn.
for you, Stacey.
Yes.
Tell me, because people do get patterns waxed into them, and I mean they get stuff. What's the craziest thing you've ever waxed into somebody's junk?
Not by me. That's not something that I do.
Mhm.
No.
Because you just can't properly remove the hair by doing that. Like
Okay.
I'll do a strip or like a triangle, but one time I had somebody ask for a Playboy bunny, which was odd because like it was in, the 2000s.
Oh wow,
So,
it was their downtime.
yeah, but no, I don't. No.
No, you just don't do it. You're making a face like, oh, what's wrong with you?
No.
I had a barber shave a barber pole into the back of my head one time. He thought that was funny.
Are you sure it wasn't a penis?
It was probably a
It
penis.
was probably. I know your barber was probably a penis.
He's a pretty funny dude.
He's great.
All right, so
Sometimes people have asked for like initials or hearts, but because it affects the quality of service that I give is why I don't do it.
that makes sense.
I always wondered, maybe it's because of the type of hair I have in particular. Like, how do those shapes translate? Because I've never actually seen one. I've seen a heart. I've seen the triangle. I've seen the strips, but I don't know that I've seen anything
like dramatic, like a Playboy bunny. Like, how does that even happen unless you have really short curly hair? Like,
And how's anyone going to know what it is? Because when it grows out, it's going to look like a long-haired rabbit.
Right.
it's gonna look like a donkey.
I think the only way to get that would,
You shaved a donkey into your pussy.
yeah. You'd have to stencil and shave around it. I don't
What it
know.
would-
I
make
don't
it
know
waffles.
either. Like, I would think it like that's something more for like clippers than waxing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Donkey pussy. That's gonna be a
Donkey
thing now.
pussy.
Jesus.
You know, I mean, I'm sure you guys know too in your lifestyle, everybody is different. You know, everybody has different anatomy, and most people are, not most people, but a lot of people can be like insecure about that. But the fact of the matter is like everybody is different.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Yeah.
So I
Like
don't.
fingerprints.
Yeah.
We all have fingertips, but they're
That sounds like a pretty good tagline, Stacey. Every body is different.
I like it. But, you know, so you should never feel like embarrassed, at least, you know, coming in with me, because it's funny, I'm looking for hair. That's my job. I literally have one job, and it's to remove hair. So if somebody's like insecure about their body and thinking that I'm looking at anything else,
and,
I'm
like,
really
nope,
not.
I'm all about your follicles, man.
All right,
Don't
so
even notice you have a face.
this
No,
is
I'm
a
kidding.
different question, and this is probably something a lot of people wonder about, but nobody has. You just can't ask, because you can't ask your own provider this question.
Okay.
But since, you know, we're friends now, I'm pretty sure we're friends since you're staring directly at my wife's gunya. But the question is,
My follicles.
what's an appropriate tip for a wax service? I mean, I'm not saying like what's a good one, what's a bad. I'm just saying like what's the rule of thumb for somebody to give you something where you don't look at them and go, you cheap piece of shit?
For me personally, I work for myself, so a tip for me is not like, you don't have to tip me. I have people that will come in for a lot of services and they break them up because it's expensive, and I'm like, look, you were here last week, like, please don't tip me. I'm not working off tips. So when I ring people out, you can add a tip, but that's just kind of to avoid like that awkward, like, oh, I want to add a tip, and then I'm like, okay, you know. So it's on there, and I appreciate tips, but for me personally, like,
So as a
it's
sole
it's a
proprietor
thank you.
And they okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
and I have sometimes people tip me and sometimes they don't, and it never bothers me if somebody doesn't tip me, because maybe they're thinking in their head, yeah, she's pocketing all of this money, so why do I have to tip her? So I don't know, I guess that's kind of a weird question for me to answer, because I don't really, for me,
Yeah.
All right, well, then I'll pose it to Mallory, because, and the reason I ask this is we have listeners all over the country,
Yeah.
right? We have listeners all over the world, as a matter of fact.
So I think anyone who provides, are you going to ask the same question
Yeah.
but from my perspective as a consumer?
Nobody wants to hear me talk. You're the one with your pussy out.
So as a consumer, like anyone who performs a service in particular, and something like this is of a more, you know, delicate nature, I always tip, and I tip generously, because there's not many people who do it well and with the level of professionalism. So, you know, I'm of the school of thought anywhere between 25 and 50%, depending on the service. Like,
How about you,
that's-
Sheila?
Mallory does tip me well. Thank you.
There it is. Mallory's a good
appreciate
tipper,
it.
folks.
It's something I can't.
Damn,
Yeah.
that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, right.
But it's I've had horrible experiences. Horrible. There's only been one other person in all of this that has done a great job in comparison, and she didn't speak a lick of English. She was Russian, and she worked for a spa down the road for us. And then when we moved, I was like, oh no, I have to go through this again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's time to learn Russian.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. She was awesome. Yeah.
I always tip people though
Yeah.
the same way.
Yeah.
Like if they give a service,
Yes.
it's just kind. And I, depending on like if somebody goes above and beyond, I'll always tip. I never like to not tip, but 20% to me is what I always do, because it's easy. I just
Yes.
double.
And that's kind of standard for
Yeah.
the course. That's just my school of thought. And when I go to a restaurant, 15 to 20, depending on
Yeah.
the level of service, and anything above that is exceptional, right?
And because I
Yeah.
do get tipped, I kind of look at it as one of those. What do you call it? Like if somebody
Pay it forward.
Pay it forward. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how I look at it. So I'm always like, if I see a tip jar, I'm like, okay, it's gonna come back to me.
Yeah.
It's gonna come back.
There you go.
All right, so
Are we good?
so
Yes.
I feel like this is exactly where I was at with
Okay.
it. If I give somebody just the tip, they're happy.
Yeah.
No,
That's how this all started.
that's how this all started.
So
All
I
right,
don't know that you want to be point blank range right now.
I probably. Oh, are you getting ready
I'm
to
gonna
show us
flip
your
over.
starfish?
Yeah.
All right, let's do this. Don't hit the mics. All right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Mallory's starfish. Oh, she's spreading her cheeks.
Yep. Everybody has to help me a little bit. Spread the cheeks.
Wow, she knew exactly what to do. She just reached back.
I'm trained well.
She never does that for me.
So I'm in the prone position,
She
literally
is.
holding my haunches
Face
and my
down,
butt
hole up.
out.
And this is the part that doesn't hurt. Although
No, actually.
the wax, you can get sensitive to the heat back here, but that's about it.
Yeah.
So having hair unceremoniously torn from your asshole doesn't hurt.
Does not hurt as much as the front. Nope.
Really?
It's actually doesn't hurt at all. Like, it's just like, it feels warmer because of the type of skin or
Yeah.
where it's at, but it doesn't burn. It's just,
For those of you fantasizing out there right now, Mallory is face down, ass up. Well, not really. She's just face down,
Face down, ass wide.
ass wide.
yeah.
I'm having fun with this. I really am. This is great. This is my favorite episode ever.
And this is probably like the most, vulnerable position for people. It's like,
It's really more vulnerable
Isn't
than the
that
other
weird
one.
that you're like really nervous
I
about
think
showing you my
so.
butthole, but my vagina totally fine.
Well, but you show your doctor, like you lay down and throw your legs open for your doctor, so it's not
true.
that rare.
No one really
Yeah. But
inspects
how
my
many
butthole
times-
but you.
Yeah, exactly. I'm the only one that sees this view.
well, you're not.
No,
That's true.
actually,
In
I
our
got to
lifestyle, no,
thinking
I'm
about
not.
it. No.
How many people have seen your asshole, Sheila?
So many people. I have lots of pictures of my butthole on my phone, so probably a lot of people who stand behind me also.
say like
Two more.
Oh, yeah. There's two more hairs
I think
on your
Sheila's
asshole, Mallory.
tagline is, "How's my butthole today?"
Yeah, well, every time you video chat me, it's either Frank's dick or your asshole. It's the first thing I see when I answer my phone, which is not good in a meeting, by the way.
I don't care about your meetings.
No, it's time for Sheila's asshole, everybody. Here we go. All right, yeah, well, that's why we picked them for the first Naked Truth episode. We have another one of those coming. Naked Truth is fun.
Unfiltered.
Has Mallory told you about the Naked Truth, Stacey?
Have you?
We may have chatted about it. We've only had one episode released. We have a few on deck.
Yeah, we do. They're going to
And
be fun. So Naked
they're-
Truth is where we have people over and everybody's ass naked during the interview.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. And
It's
then when
it's a metaphor as well, but it's also fun.
It is, but the fun part about it is, so the reason that we call it Naked Truth is because you get to pick 3 things that you won't talk about, but we
Okay.
don't get the same courtesy. So we have to answer you. You can ask us a question every time we ask you one, and we have 3 things that we can't ask you, but there's nothing you can't ask us. That's the way Naked Truth works. And Mallory's done, folks. Mallory
I am
is
fresh and clean.
fresh, clean, hairless, red, swollen. And we'll be back right after this, where I think Sheila's hopping in. And
She's ready.
Yeah, Sheila's definitely ready. She's got a full-on merkin growing down there, folks. So we're going to be coming back right after this for a couple of minutes with Sheila, and this will be some more fun. So you guys are listening to Casual Swinger. All right, we're back, and Sheila's on the table getting done by Stacey.
We've migrated to underarms.
I just saw a shag carpet be ripped from Sheila's armpit.
Please.
I
Oh,
mean, it was impressive.
oh God!
But
Did
I
you
mean-
hear it?
Yeah.
Oh wow! I mean, I am really, really horrified by what I'm seeing here.
Well,
Right
yeah, I
now.
usually actually do not grow it this long, typically.
You lie.
I've never seen it this long.
Well, I've had
okay.
it.
You've never seen anyone this long, or Sheila this long?
Her.
Okay, she's never seen Sheila this. I was like,
No, I mean, I've had it long enough where I've taken clippers to it.
so what happens if somebody comes in with a shag carpet in their armpit, Stacey? How? I mean, is that? Can you still get waxed if you
Yeah.
have long ass hair?
Yes. definitely. If I need to trim any areas, I can and I will, but it's only certain areas.
I got yelled at
So
the last
never on
time
the
I got
underarms.
waxed. Oh yeah, the underarms are usually fine, but I went to somewhere local, which was upsetting. Yeah.
Yeah. You guys broke a bed recently, didn't you?
Oh yes, that did happen.
How did that happen? Were you riding? Were you riding?
I
Frank?
was
there an
riding
injury?
Frank. I definitely was riding Frank. It's the strength of my hips. What can I say?
All right, so you've got those
got
childbearing
childbearing
hips,
hips.
those Polish childbearing hips that you were just slamming into his poor decrepit body. Is that what was happening? Or
He enjoyed it.
Yeah, I didn't see any complaining.
He survived.
I saw the aftermath pictures, and I was like, I'm surprised there were no injuries.
And now we have a nice new bed.
well, we saw aftermath
Is it
pictures of the
bolted?
bed. What did the aftermath pictures of the sex look like?
I gave the thumbs up after in the aftermath. Thumbs up. I survived.
He survived, and he enjoyed it, and he lived to tell the tale.
And Frank walks with a limp to this day.
Actually, he does. Maybe that's why you're having back problems.
Right? It's that young virile pussy that you brought into your life, Frank.
But no,
Is
the
it
new bed
offensive
is
when I
not
call it
bolted.
pussy?
I
don't mean to be
regret
offensive.
nothing.
He regrets nothing.
He regrets nothing. Of course he does.
But is the new bed like bolted to the floor? Like
No,
the foundation now, or?
I'm a little scared for it. It's held up so far, but I think it's a good thing that the headboard's not too tall, but it's not secure enough. That's what we were looking for in a bed, is a secure headboard, and this was not it, but it wasn't too expensive, so we can just buy a new one in 6 months.
I think we just might have to put a handicap bar at the top of
That's what he wants to
handicap
do
bar
on the
bed.
window.
Is that what she's
so
done to you?
She can grab on.
Frank
It's
just said
really-
that
it
they
is
need to
what
add a
happens.
handicap bar to the bed, and
Not
he's
for
in
him.
via phone call right now. And I got to tell you, I've never like fully broken a bed. I've broken some parts of a bed, but I have broken a cock ring.
Wait, well, he has not. He has not. That's all right. I'm good with it. Because he hasn't broken my pussy yet either. Yay!
Oh no, we're talking about Sheila's pussy. Sheila's pussy is being de-haired as we speak.
I had an announcement to make.
Ooh.
Do you know that I'm collecting Daniels now instead of Rodney's?
You are collecting
I am
Daniels.
collecting-
Mallory is collecting Daniels. She used to collect Rodney's. Now she collects Daniels.
Oh, here. I'm going to go be cameraman now.
All right, so we're gonna. Well, you guys aren't gonna see Sheila's pussy, but we all see Sheila's pussy. We're all looking deeply into Sheila's vagina. There it is.
There? Yes.
Look at that
I did
adoring
good.
look on his face.
He looks
I
happy.
can't see him.
I can. You can flip it. You can flip
He's
the camera.
screenshotting that pussy right now.
Oh,
That's
he
what he's doing.
screenshots my
He's-
butthole all the time.
He did. He just took a screenshot. I saw him do it.
That's one of my favorite videos.
He did it
He
again.
did. I know he did. That's fantastic.
What is it? The Lick
Your
My
favorite
Butthole
videos of
Daddy?
Sheila's asshole?
Oh,
Yes, actually, one of my favorites. It's the Lick My Butthole Daddy.
oh
Did you hear
yes.
that?
Lick my butthole, daddy. That was a good
Yeah.
little sound clip. Lick my butthole,
She's
daddy.
all sleepy.
So why don't you ever send us sound clips, Sheila, for our show? Like "Lick My Butthole, Daddy." That's a great sound clip.
I have it. I can send it to you.
Yeah, we'd like to have that for the show. We'll play it for our listeners. Lick my butthole, Daddy. That's
I
just,
couldn't think of anything good for the last one that you wanted.
what was the
I
last
got
one?
no
We did the
prizes.
Viagra ads, didn't we? That's the one that Starry
The
won.
nationwide is on your side.
Yeah. What is that you're smearing on her? It looks like Thousand Island.
This is a different wax that I had sent to me to test, but I ran out of my wax here. So this is what I'm
We're
using.
hairy.
Oh, we're experimenting on Sheila's pussy now.
Well, I've used it before.
Oh yeah, I feel like I remember this wax.
Look like it sucked.
I've never used it on you.
Okay, well then I am out of my mind.
I don't typically use any other wax on my
Like a
clients.
ninja. Like, that is so precise.
She really is precise. And like all the little
I've never
flyaways,
seen
she
it
just hooks
done.
them up. That's why I said she was a fucking sorceress. She's a wax sorceress. All right, folks, the moment of truth is here. It's time for me to get on this table. So when we come back in just a hot second, I am going to put my butt on that table, and we're going to see what happens. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. All All right, folks, we're back, and I am getting on this table, so I'm going to walk around. There's going to be a little bit of rustling going in here. I am getting on the table to apparently get my glorious man parts waxed. Stacey's going to participate, as are Sheila and Mallory. I'll be back with you momentarily. Okay.
All right. So you're going to lay down and be comfy.
All right, I am so comfy.
Okay.
Now my man parts are hanging out for 3 women.
So this is just a little powder.
Okay, I'm the only one
absorbs
naked.
the
He doesn't
moisture.
have a lot of hair.
No, he's not a very hairy man to begin with. And this is like, what, 2 weeks of growth for you?
This is almost 4.
Yeah.
I've never waxed a man before,
Aww.
but my husband, I have waxed his
nervous.
asshole.
That's excellent.
Awesome.
All right, well, I'm
Love it.
randomly naked.
Okay.
Why are you taking pictures of my penis, Sheila?
So typically,
Yes,
Yeah,
we
we're
are.
live.
how we would start. So you always want to hold the skin taut.
Okay.
Good luck with that one.
As we saw from that nose hair waxing video.
So you could really start
that's,
anywhere
that's
Okay.
hot.
So are you going against the grain or with the grain?
with the hair.
With the hair. Okay.
We're applying wax.
And then
to
I
my
make
nether
like a little lip
regions.
like this so
Uh-huh.
that I have something to pull.
Okay.
Stop with your balls.
Well, I can't help it. They're just dancing. Don't mind my balls.
Okay, so this is hard wax. So what
Okay.
that means is it hardens and
Okay.
it turns into the strip as opposed
Nothing is
to
hardening right now on
the
this
soft
table.
wax, which we have to use the linen to pull up. So then you want to pull it taut this way.
Okay.
We're pulling. Ah, yeah, God bless a fuck me running.
Apply a little bit of pressure.
Okay.
Look at how smooth that is.
Look how smooth that is. Oh, where's my mother?
By the way, Frank took a picture of your junk. Too.
So
What is wrong with you, you sadist?
I'm gonna put this on a stick for you because it's a little.
Please do. Yeah. And it's
Don't
like
you
the
put that on my dick.
Why are you wearing gloves?
Because she gave me a glove.
I gave her one.
I'm Michael Waxon.
So
Fuck was that noise?
So, okay. So I have the stick, and I'm going to go with the grain to start,
yep.
right?
So you want to hold it back here.
So hold it this way.
Yep.
Okay.
Do it again.
And then I'm going to just apply it here.
You're not icing.
Does everybody see the difference here?
What are you doing?
It is so thick. Like, how do I thin that out? Like this?
We should probably do the butthole.
Yeah, we should probably do it.
This is this one.
All right.
What are you people doing?
So inexperience versus experience. So
Look at her.
I feel
It
the
is
experience
so-
difference. I feel the experience
I
difference.
just need you to know that I love you and I'm trying and it's not going well.
Oh, I don't feel the love.
Not
I
going
don't
well.
feel love at
Oh,
all.
no, I love you so much. All right, Stacey, I fucked this up big time.
You have to pull it off.
Okay, all right. So
These women are
apparently-
having
Because
so
I
much-
want you to explain to them how it felt when I did it versus when how
Okay.
Mallory
Okay.
did it.
When
So now I'm
Medusa
gonna hold
did
it tight
bad
this way.
things happen, and then
and just like
Yep.
peel this. Oh my god.
fucking God,
Oh,
they're coming off individually. God,
sorry.
bless
I'm
that
sorry.
God damn it.
Oh my god. Oh my god. It's so scary. Hold still. Hold still. Quit wiggling.
That son of a bitch, you're not finished. Jesus
Oh my
Christ.
god. Oh my god. There's. Oh. Are you okay? Oh, there's still stuff left. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
I'm literally seeing
Oh god. Hold
stars.
still.
Oh, Jesus, there was more.
Frank is crying.
Fuck is
Okay,
wrong
I
with
know.
you people?
Steve.
Is this a concentration camp?
Hold still.
Are you applying more? Oh,
She's fixing it.
oh,
Because I fucked that up so badly.
oh, dear Christ on crutches.
It's okay. Deep breath. Deep breath in. Deep breath.
Oh, Mother Teresa. Oh. Ow. What is wrong with you people?
You asked. You literally asked for this. Remember, this was your idea.
I hope all of you at home know how
know.
much we love you.
I know. I think you're almost done.
I'm
But
gonna
see
need
the
to see a
difference of
medical
the one that
professional.
you
Yeah,
did
that's
and
what I
here?
did. Like you're gonna have a little bruise there.
Like his
Yes.
skin here looks fine.
It does.
I think
literally.
I need a
I'm just gonna
penisectomy.
get rid of this. though.
Okay, this one's not gonna hurt.
Oh, you lying fucker.
I am so sorry.
And can you guys see the difference in the quality of the waxes?
Can you see
Like,
that my
yeah.
dick is crawled up inside me and I'm gonna have to stick my finger up my ass and yell snake to get it to come back out? Oh, I do it.
That one wasn't so
That was
bad.
my belly button.
That was not your belly. No.
I think my happy trail's no longer happy. It's the Oregon
No,
Trail.
it's
it had
even
dysentery
now.
and
It's
died.
even.
It's even.
You're
Oh, you evened it out for me.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. very sorry.
You look sorry.
I know. Like,
Shit,
Yep.
I liked you, Stacey. I did.
Stop doing that with your balls.
I can't help it. They're
Do
just
you
like,
want to do the butt strip?
oh, dear Christ, what is the butt strip?
When you flip over.
yeah. Do you want to get your butthole done? Yeah.
What is the yeah shit?
Yeah, it's not as bad.
It's who?
I think.
Oh, fuck it. Why not? In for a dime, in for a dollar, folks. Mickey's getting his asshole waxed. Oh, boy.
I wouldn't recommend anybody else doing this part.
No. I'm just here for
Apparently,
moral support.
Stacey
So
is
hold, spread them.
Okay, I'm going to spread my cheeks.
Do you want me to hold them?
I have a very hairy asshole. I have never, ever taken the hair.
You should do a follow-up on this because you're going to feel great.
Yeah.
I'm going to feel great. Do you hear that?
It feels so clean.
You
and
hear that,
wonderful
folks?
back there.
I nared my asshole once, and it did
It's-
not
it's-
end well.
there's
Do you know what
no-
doesn't go well with a man's ass crack? Stubble.
Yeah. No, you don't get
Ass hair
stubble.
has a purpose.
You don't get stubble with waxing. That's the whole point. But you will feel so clean, like
If you guys
So
could see my
clean.
face right now, you'd see deep concern.
the whole prostate massage
Genuine
thing.
concern.
So
I can't
clean.
your face. I can only see your butthole.
I'm glad that you're looking deep into my asshole, and it thinks the same of you.
Frank.
All right, Sheila's looking at my asshole. Apparently, she's taking video of my asshole.
Frank's taking photos.
Oh, it's winking at you. Oh, God, there's hot stuff on my butt crack. Oh, no.
Does it feel hot?
It does feel a little hot. Well, it also feels a little invasive.
It feels good.
Stacey, I'm going to go out on a limb and say we're fucking friends now.
Well, good.
Good. Oh, she's so soothing.
Isn't she the best?
She is. I'm not going to let my cheeks go because they're going to stick together and they'll
No.
never come apart
Yeah,
again.
don't. I'll help you with this one.
Oh, wait, great. There's two people holding my ass cheeks open currently. For those of you that are playing along at home. Oh, motherfucker.
It's nice and smooth.
It is.
Oh, that's because it's a virgin, unlike yours. Oh, I can literally feel the ceiling fan blowing on my now hairless ass.
It feels wonderful.
No.
Well, your ass isn't hairless, just your asshole.
I'm so glad you specified that because you're not hairy, but
That's
you
a
do-
separate service.
Yeah.
I'm so unhappy.
But this is your idea.
I hate all of you at home. I hate you all.
Oh man. Deep breath. Deep breath in.
Okay.
The morning poo will feel really good tomorrow
Yeah.
when you wipe.
So clean.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Looking forward to it.
Deep breath
Son
out.
of
One
a
more.
motherfucker.
You're good. Wow, that is
Perfect.
a really clean bowel.
Now maybe Mallory will lick it.
I just had my asshole waxed for y'all's
He's
benefit.
not gonna want me anywhere near that for like 2
I hope
days.
that you guys enjoyed it. I'm going to go drink some
She's
bourbon.
such a wis- Sheila and I didn't even flinch. I just want to reiterate that.
God, we'll be back right after this, folks. For fuck's sake, you've been listening to Casual Swinger. Oh my God, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Casual Swinger. My name is Hairless Asshole Mickey.
I'm Mallory.
I'm so glad you fuckers are entertained right
You
now.
asked for this, you so asked for it.
So I just had my nether regions waxed live on the air with you guys. Stacey, thank you, I think.
Yes. You're
Yeah.
welcome.
Yeah.
So-
Not as bad as you thought, though, right?
I think it might have been every bit as bad as I thought it was
Okay.
going to be because I've never had that done before. But I honestly, it was far better when Stacey did it than when you did it. So a licensed professional
Oh
is
my
a
God.
big fucking bonus.
So bad. Don't ever do it yourself, folks.
I don't know how anybody gets hard in that condition. I think you're safe from perverts.
I don't want to find out.
No, I don't think
No.
you should want to find it either. But hey, let's take a second and let you plug your business. Tell us, what is the
Yes.
name of your business? Where is it located? Tell us how long you've been doing it, how to contact you, if it's an email, it's a phone number, and how to let people know if they get a discount for listening to Casual Swinger.
Definitely. So you can look me up on, my business name is Lake Mary Waxing. I'm, of course, located in Lake Mary off of International Parkway. And you can check me out at www.lakemarywaxing.com. I have a Facebook, which is Lake Mary Waxing, as well as my Instagram handle is Lake Mary Waxing. You can call me, text me directly at 407-319-9060. It's always going to be on me on the phone. And if you mention this podcast, I am giving $10 off your entire service plus the first-time client discount of 25%.
Wow.
That is awesome. Thank you so much. And by the way, Lake Mary is just outside of Orlando, Florida. So if you're coming to Disney to take your kids down to let them make you suffer, come let Stacey make you suffer at Lake Mary Waxing. But no, that was super cool. We can't thank you enough.
Yes, thank you
Thank you
so
guys.
Yeah, this was
fun.
It was fun right up to the point where you started ripping hair unceremoniously
that was
from
the
my man
funnest
parts.
much. It was very,
That
there was a lot of pomp and circumstance and ceremony, let's be honest.
lots of ceremony. Well, I was hoping I was going to get out of it, but fuck me. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the grooming episode for Casual Swinger. We have had a great time with you here today. We've had a great time with Stacey. We hope you'll come back and join us. Mallory, you want to tell everybody where to find us?
Oh, you know who we are. You can find us as Casual Swinger everywhere. That's our website, www.casualswinger.com. Feel free to shoot us a message at podcast@casualswinger. You can also find us on Cassidy, SDC, SLS, Double Date Nation as Casual Swinger, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter.
Oh, all those places. Next time you catch us, we'll be at Naughty in New Orleans. Ladies and gentlemen.
Laissez-les mon temps rouler.
Oh, shit.
Let the good times roll.
Oh, I love it. All right, guys, we'll catch you next time. You've been listening to Casual Swinger.